DistroKid is making people furious all over the internet, but it's not for the reasons you've seen. It actually has everything to do with Spotify. Before we talk about how DistroKid is killing small artists, let me explain my situation. I'm an independent artist that goes by the name Drastic of sorts, and I have been releasing music since 2019. I have never had something like this happen to me before. My music was taken off of Spotify's platform with zero warning. You're probably thinking it's just Spotify being Spotify, since it's pretty normal to hate on the royalty payouts. Or maybe you're thinking it's because I use samples or other copywritten material in my music. Well, it's none of those things. Spotify uses a system of bots and data analytics to determine whether your music is naturally streamed or artificially streamed. If your music is being streamed on a continuous loop or many continuous loops via playlists, your music gets flagged. There's more information coming into play here, such as monthly listener count and the drop off of streams after the initial spike. And that means if you suddenly got thousands of streams in a day or in a weekend, and your monthly listener count is at 44, then the red flags start showing up. As you can see, there's a super huge issue with this system, especially if you wonder, what if my music suddenly got a lot of streams? This is where the problem begins. First of all, it is against Spotify's artist policy for you to pay for streams. That should be obvious because they pay out royalties based on those streams. And if you paid for a promotion like get thousands of listens here, then it makes sense if your music was removed. I mean, come on, that's not right. However, having said that, what if you didn't pay for streams? Spotify allows users to create custom playlists publicly for anyone to follow and listen to. At the same time, any songs streaming on Spotify are fair game to create playlists with, which means virtually anyone at any time can place your music onto a playlist and then pay for artificial streams. Now, some people do this because they're artists too, and they've decided to pay for their numbers. Even though it's wrong, the key here is that your music gets affected, and without you ever knowing about it. I think that's pretty crazy. This happened to me. After I was notified of my music being taken off Spotify, I went into investigation mode because I needed to understand how this happened. I saw a nice little 1,000 stream spike on Spotify, but it honestly didn't look like anything coming out of the ordinary because I make content on YouTube and I use that song regularly. But then something strange happened. When I tried to look at what playlist could have artificially boosted my song, it was gone. The initial notification implied that a playlist had been the culprit, but where was this playlist? I was furious with Spotify, so I immediately contacted their support and explained what had happened. Thus, the truth came out. I was told that Spotify doesn't keep that data and instead gives it to the distributor. It was at this moment that I realized DistroKid was the problem, not Spotify. Spotify collects user data, and if something looks fishy, they send that information to the distributors, like DistroKid. Then they leave the distributor to make the decision on what happens to the artist's music. Sounds simple enough. I'll just email DistroKid support to appeal this by explaining what happened. You know, they'll fix this, or at least show me the data that Spotify gave them, right? Wrong. DistroKid just said, and I'm paraphrasing here a tad, you did it. We confirmed it. And you just weren't aware you were in the wrong. But you can re-upload the music if you want. I'm pissed at this point. DistroKid fully accused me, gave me no notice or information of the flag's origin so that I could use Spotify's built-in forms to report the playlist. And they provided no way to appeal this decision whatsoever. And to make matters worse, I'm not the only one with this problem. If you search this issue on Google or Reddit, it's everywhere. Artists, small mind you, are getting their music taken off of Spotify without any ill or willful activity from the artist. I've never even paid for simple advertising, let alone artificial anything for my music. The most I ever did for this release is ask a TikTok live to watch my YouTube stream of it. So someone had to have added my song to their own playlist and then boosted that playlist artificially. Well, that data has yet to be shown to me, and DistroKid seems to not care about this issue whatsoever. But it also keeps smiling and explaining that they confirmed I did something wrong and that I can't do anything about it. You could argue that this is all because Spotify has a terrible way of providing information, but I disagree. My distributor should have all of the information that Spotify does and the data from every other service too. Did DistroKid even investigate? I doubt it. Are they being helpful in any way? Not one bit. I can't fill out any forms without having the data they were refusing to send me. So if you're a small or upcoming artist, this should be a warning to constantly monitor your music. Distributors hold all the cards. In the case of DistroKid, they can fully affect your releases without giving you any room to plead your case or any warning. You are proven guilty without any thought that you are not. That's nuts. Well, I hope this was helpful and gives you some insight before you release your next line of music. Leave me a comment of what your favorite distributor is. Since I don't want to use DistroKid, I'm kind of looking to some new stuff. So yeah, comment which distributor you think does a really good job at taking care of their artists. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next Drastic Truth Experience.